Good morning, I'm Captain Horacio Velasquez. We're going to begin this flight to Mexico City. It's AeroMexico 002. The pilot flying will be Antonio. I'm going to be the pilot monitoring. And this flight is going to be 11 hours and 35 minutes long. We will be explaining about the progress of the flight, and we hope you enjoy this. Thank you.
Okay, at this time we're going to start with the CDU pre-flight and initialization. It's a Boeing 777-200 with a GE 9094 rating on the engines. Our database is active from September 18th till October 16th. Today is October 13th, so we're good. The initial position is the airport of Madrid. These are the coordinates, which are matching with the position coordinates from the airport. Origin is Madrid, and the initials are LEMG. Destination Mexico, Mike, X-ray. Flight number AeroMexico 002. Runway in use is 14 right, north 48, west 050. Our exit point is Nixo, November, India, Charlie, Sierra, Oscar. Airway, November 142, Charlie, to Cani, Kilo, Alpha, November, India. Direct to Alpha, Charlie, Kilo. Now we're gonna put the initial performance for the computers on the aircraft, and the initial altitude is going to be today at flight level 310. The cost index for this flight is 185. The reserves for the diversion fuel is 8.9 tons. The zero fuel weight is 187.7. So we have finished now with the initialization of our computer, our FMC, and now we're going to do our pre-flight procedure on the overhead panel and the rest of the cockpit. Okay, we are parked at Terminal 1, and we are going to use runway 14 right for departure. So we are going to taxi most probably on Mike, which is this taxiway, all the way to the end of the runway, or the beginning of the threshold, which on runway 14 right.
Departure.
Pretty short taxi.
Lima. This is Madrid. Bearer status in
Zamora to Alpha Sierra departure is page 10-3 Lima 4.
Yes.
And it has a date of August 9th, 2013. Our airport elevation is 1,998 feet. Transition level, which is given by the ATC today, is going to be 14,500 feet. Our transition altitude is 13,000. And it's usable between 0700 and 2300 local time. The maximum speed below 10,000 is 250 knots.
They already have it.
Right. And Zamora 2 Alpha Sierra. Initial climb clearance, maintain 13,000 and request flight level change and route. 13,000 is adjusted on the MCP already. And our routing is Mike Delta 030, Mike Delta 031 at 6,800 or above.
Yes.
Mike Delta 033 at 13,000 or above. And Zamora at 13,000 or above. We double check it with the information on the FMC, and everything seems to be all right.
We require a minimum gradient of climb of 5.5%, which means 1,114 feet per minute.
Exactly, with 200
Okay.
knots. 250,
Case of failure,
1,202.
after B1, we put heading cell, go to route 2, activate and execute, see what point is ahead, send to that point, put LNAV and ARM 4000.
All right.
You fly, I make the checklist, and Armando has the communications.
All right. Okay.
Thank you.
Madrid, good morning, AeroMexico 002, stand 71, ready to copy Mexico City.
AeroMexico 002, AeroMexico 002, good afternoon, copy clearance to Mexico City Airport via Zamora to Alpha Sierra, standard departure runway 14 right, squawk 4536 QNH 1011.
Roger, AeroMexico 002, clear to Mexico City via the Zamora to Alpha Sierra departure, squawk 4536.
AeroMexico 002, clearance correct, call me when ready to start up.
We'll give you a call back, AeroMexico 002.
Okay, so this is a program that we have to double check the performance and the speeds for the departure. So you have to insert all of the data on the aircraft that you know and the airport. This is the Madrid airport, runway 14 right, which is the runway we're going to use. Dry condition of the runway. The wind, you always use wind calm, 18 degrees, and the QNH is 1016, the last QNH. And it's now 1011 at this time. It's a new ATIS information. The maximum rating on the engine. The CG is normal. You have an option on the alternate 23%, but we usually use normal CG. No improved climb. Flaps 5. Aircraft configuration auto, and the engine and wing anti-ice, you always use them on auto. The takeoff weight is approximately 282 tons, and then you just hit the calculate button to double check the performance. And this is the approximate speeds that we're going to be given by the operations personnel when they bring the final paperwork.
Sound of an engine. Turn the engine to left start. Select start. Let engine drop. Fuel pressure increasing. Right engine. Right start, select start. Switch drop.
Departure runway 14 right confirm. Before takeoff, checklist complete.
AeroMexico 002, wind 210, 10 knots, maximum 20. You are clear for takeoff, runway 14 right.
Roger, 14 right, cleared for takeoff, AeroMexico 002.
Clear for takeoff. Clear right. Todo en orden.
This flight,
Let's go. Gracias. T6% stabilize at takeoff thrust.
Thrust. Set.
Madrid, buenas tardes, Europa 1155.
Europa 1155, muy buenas. Entrada y mantener pista 14 derecha, salida Bacru 1 Alfa Sierra.
Bacru 1 Sierra, entrada y mantener 14 derecha, Europa 1155.
V1.
Okay. Positive brake.
You're up. Autopilot engaged. Throw off reference VNF speed.
AeroMexico 002, change 131.175, adiós.
131175, thank you, good day. Madrid, good morning, AeroMexico 002, 4000 for 3000.
AeroMexico 002, buenas tardes, radar contact, climb level 160.
Climb flight level 160, AeroMexico 002.
Roger, claim 160. Flaps 1.
Llama señal de vuelo 160, Europa 1155. Sandwich Radio, AeroMexico 002.
Mexico 002, shall get it through, go ahead.
AeroMexico 002, ready to copy Oceanic clearance, entry point Berux, requesting Mach 083, flight level 340.
Mexico 002, shall make say your estimate for Berux and your maximum acceptable flight level from Berux, shall make.
We are estimating Barracks at 1406, maximum flight level 340.
Roger, Mexico 002, requesting Oceanic clearance, estimate for 406, requesting Mach 83, flight level 340, maximum flight level 340, confirm.
Affirmative, AeroMexico 002.
Roger, request to see standby. I will check with ATC and call you back to standby on 88790 on your request. When I receive your clearance, I will call you. You're about to take chances 6547. Here is your cell call check, Shamrock.
Delco positive, AeroMexico 002.
Roger, Mexico 002. When I receive your clearance, I will call you, Shamrock.
Much.
Shamrock.
Okay, so we just received our Oceanic clearance, which is the clearance that we need to obtain from the center, in this case from Changwick, to cross the Atlantic Ocean. And we were cleared to cross, it's not a track, it's a random route, which means that we basically go, it's not really in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, but it's a little bit lower from the designed tracks that they have for today. And we are crossing the Atlantic at Mach 83. We were cleared to cross at Mach 0.83 at flight level 330. And our track is, or our route is coming out of the continent, or out of the peninsula from Santiago and into the Oceanic Ocean. This is the furthest south track that they have published for today. So we're pretty far south out of the published tracks. And after we cross the Atlantic, we're going to go into the continent again, somewhere between Halifax, I think this is Halifax right here, and JFK or Kennedy,
Boston.
New York, Boston. And once we're over the continent, so it's basically pretty much into the United States and the Gulf of Mexico. This is our ETOPS chart also, and all of these circles right here is the 180 minutes from each airport that we need to have in order, I mean, if we had any emergency or a dispersation or some kind of problem, we wouldn't need to go to the nearest airport. And this is, every circle here means 180 minutes from the certain airport that they're drawn from. This circle right here is the 180 minutes from Santiago. This right here is 180 minutes from Lajes, which is the islands in the Azores. And this other one here is 180 minutes from St. John's. This is our track right here. So every certain minutes you have to be changing to the other circle. At this time right now we are at the Lajes circle right here. This is our current location right here. So this is our 180 minutes circle at this point right now. When we get to this point over here, we will be changing to the the St. John's circle. So that's basically what these circles mean. Okay, so now we are 3 hours and a half into our flight. We're basically in the mid-Atlantic Ocean. And I'd like to explain to you a little bit about the navigation displays on the 777. This is our primary flight display. And this is basically all of the information on the aircraft. This is the airspeed tape. This is indicating our current airspeed, and this red band over here is the maximum airspeed that the aircraft can fly at this specific altitude and temperature. And this is would be our Mach number, and this is our horizontal, our artificial horizon. This what basically is telling us is that we are. This would be the sky if you wanted to see it that way, and this would be the ground. So we are basically leveled, or pretty much into the horizon. We're just 2.5 degrees with the nose up. This is most of the time the aircraft flies at this attitude. This is our altitude tape, and this is indicating us that we're flying at 34,000 feet, and we are leveled at that altitude at this time. This is another one of our heading displays. We have several of those. This would be one of them. We are on a heading of 285 degrees. This is our navigation display, and again, this would be our current heading, again 285, 286 approximately. And this purple line that you see right here would be our navigation track. And as I said before, we are basically at half of the Atlantic. We are approaching 050 north, 040 west. 040 west is what we basically use for the mid-Atlantic. This is our ground speed, our current ground speed, which is 488 nautical miles per hour. The wind speed and direction, it's coming from the 320 degrees at 9 knots. Again, this is our next waypoint in our route. This is north 050 and 040 west. We are estimating to be at this point at 1649 Zulu time. This right now is 1641, so it's another 8 or 9 minutes till we get there. And this would be the distance that we are from that point. This is 69.7. And this right here is a little bit of weather that the weather radar is showing for us. Now I'm going to open the scale. We are going to 640 nautical miles, would be the largest scale that we have on this display. And obviously, the more that you open, the more that the waypoints that you're going to have on your route. We can actually put, this is the airport key, and it's going to tell you where the nearest airports are at this time. And it's showing us that we have Lajes on the back of the airplane right here. It's 132 miles from us. And it's a little bit crowded here, but St. John's would be right in front of us, and I can't see the distance information because it's a little bit crowded again, but we could actually check it over here. And St. John's is if we would divert at this time, we would be there at 17:59, which is an hour and 20 minutes with our current speed. This would be our primary navigation and information displays. This over here is the engine information that we have for the flight. Again, if you want to see all of the engine displays, which is not really necessary for the rest of the flight, except for like the engine startup, you can actually display all of the engine parameters, which again are not really necessary for the rest of the flight. And this is the fuel flow, oil pressure, oil temperature, oil quantity, and the vibration on the engines. If anything would be out of the green range, which is the normal range, a display would come up. So you don't actually have to be monitoring the engine displays all of the time. If you wanted to see any other display or any other system on the aircraft, you actually have all of the systems right here. So if you want to see the electrical, hydraulic, fuel, air, doors, gear, or flight controls, you would just have to click on any of these buttons, which are the diagrams on each of the systems and the synoptics, and the system would come up. For example, let's try the electric system right here. So right there, it's telling us all of the generators and all of the electrical supplies that the aircraft has. And it's telling us what kind of components it's actually supplying the electricity to. If you wanted to see the hydraulics, again, here there's again an explanation of the system, and what each system is. We have four different systems, and it's telling us what each specific system is controlling. Again, if we would have any abnormal situation or any emergency, you could actually push the synoptics, and it's going to tell you what's not working on that specific system. And again, the fuel is pretty much the same. The air system is pretty much the same. Doors, what's the status of the doors? It's all obviously showing that all of the doors are closed, but if we had any open doors here, a little symbol would actually be right next to the name of the door, that it's indicating that the door would be open. This is the gear synoptics, and this is the flight controls. So again, everything's working normal. You don't have any abnormal or any red flags that would actually tell you that the system again is not working fine. So now we're going to do the middle pedestal here. These are the throttles, which basically explain themselves, and is what it's giving the engines the power that we need, and it's maintaining a certain speed. So you're probably going to see a little bit of movement there, because the speed is always changing depending on the direction and speed of the current wind. So you probably see a little bit of movement in all of the Boeing aircraft. Actually, Airbus doesn't have that movement because it's just a point of the throttles that do not move actually in flight. This is our speed brakes, which you don't usually use during level flight. Flap lever, only used for landing and takeoff. We have 5 different positions for flaps: 1, 5, 15, 20, 25, and 30 degrees. We usually land with flaps 30. You probably see that a little bit further down the flight. This is a fuel control for the engines. Every time that the engines are shut off, they are obviously on the cutoff position, and when you turn the engines on, you have to put the lever on the run position. What this makes is that it actually enables fuel from the fuel tanks to go into the engine, and the engine starts running. If we would have some kind of engine fire or high temperature on the engine, these two little levers again would become red, and that would indicate which of the two engines is actually on the emergency or on the abnormal condition. These right here are again part of the engine fire system, which basically come connected with these two other switches over here, and would also become illuminated in a red color. If we go a little bit left here, would be the primary radio that we usually work on. This is a secondary radio that we would be working on. Most of the communications are done on the radio number 1, which is the left radio. This is the control panel for the left or the captain's radio. You would be controlling the volume on all of these little switches over here, and depending on which radio you want to talk on, you would have to select the microphone, which is the black switch on the top of the volume switch. This on the bottom side of the radio control panel is the weather control panel, which is most of the time used on weather plus T. That meaning that is going to show weather plus turbulence on a different color on the navigation display that we saw a little bit earlier on the navigation display that we talked about. This would be the observers or the third pilot radio control panel. this is part of the communications panel also, although it might look as another FMC. You can actually control a little bit of things over here, but most of the things that were done on this computer is for the communications. Yeah, again, you can talk to any of the stations back there, like any of the doors or any of the galleys or crew rest or whatever you want to call. On the bottom side of this FMC or computer is a rudder trim. This is automatically controlled by the aircraft when it's on a two-engine situation and everything's doing fine. But when you have engine failure or some kind of emergency, you can actually do it manually, so that you have more control of the flight controls. Over here is basically the same as here, but this is the first officer's radio control panel. So it basically works as the captain's control panel, just for radio and the microphone selection. On the bottom side of this right control or right radio panel, there's the transponder. Transponder is what actually lets the controllers know what our position is and what altitude we are flying at. It also sends another signal to the other aircraft around us, and it's telling them if we are climbing or descending. So it gives you a little bit of knowledge of where the other aircraft are located, and if there would be an abnormal situation where one aircraft would be going to have a mid-air collision with another aircraft, there would actually be another alarm that would let you know that you would have to climb or descend, or what the action that you would have to do would be. Over here, I don't know if you can actually focus over here, but this is an EFB, electronic flight bag. And over here, we actually have all of the performance of the aircraft and all of the charts that we need to go to the different airports that we go to. And also this documents key over here, we have all of the company's manuals that we use for this specific aircraft. Let's go to the terminal charts right here. Let's use Mexico, which is our destination. So right here you have the chart clip airports, and you have the airports that you have selected for this specific route. LEMD, which is Madrid, and the destination airport, which is Mike X-ray, Mexico City. So if we go to this airport over here, there's all of the charts for this airport. So you would have to select which chart you would want to actually look at. And so let's actually do the ILS for runway 05 right, which is probably what we'll get when we get there. So we're going to choose ILS 5 right, then to complete, and if we select that chart, we actually have what you would basically get if you would have the paper charts, but now it's just all electronic. And we have a double check for that, which is our iPad. Also, we could actually also look for those charts over here on our iPad because we have the Jepson application. But this is basically what this is good for, the electronic flight bag.
We're at 50 north, 040 west at 1649er, flight level 340, estimating 48 north, 050 west at 1742. Nixo is next. Do you need the fuel and everything? Go ahead with fuel. West will be at 1742. Nixo is next. Roger, and did you say you had fuel remaining for company?
The remaining is 61.8.
Your position is received 50 West, scan the radio, VHF 122.37. Scanner?
122.37 on 50 West. Thank you.
Roger.
So on this part of the glare shield, we have the MCP, and this is where we can actually control the aircraft when it's on the autopilot. This is the autopilot switch, and that is the switch that you have to push when after you take off. You push it and it actually starts to control the aircraft, or it actually starts doing what you want the aircraft to do with all of the signals that I'm about to explain right here. This right here is the speed window. I'm gonna push the speed button right here and then intervene the speed, because it's actually right now being controlled by the FMC. But if we wanted to control it with the MCP, this would be again the speed window, and you would actually turn it up or down, and it's going to variate the speed that you want the aircraft to go at. This is the ESMAC button. Again, I pushed it about 2 seconds ago, and this was our indicated airspeed, and if you push it again, it's going to turn into the Mach Mach number that you want the airplane to fly at. I'm going to just go ahead and turn it a little bit down, so that you can see that it's actually slowing the aircraft down. Now I'm going to turn it back up to Mach 0.83, which is the speed that we actually crossed the Atlantic at. These two buttons right here are the LNAV and VNAV buttons. This means that when you push the LNAV button, it actually goes all of the information that the FMC is sending the aircraft to do is being done by the FMC again, and it no longer controls the no longer controlled the automatic flight by the MCP. VNAV is again vertical navigation, and it also means that it's going to do all of the vertical navigation that the FMC is telling the aircraft to do. Obviously, all of the information on the FMC is also controlled by us, the crew. Over here is a heading window. Right now, actually, you can move the heading. And the aircraft is not going to do anything. It's just moving the heading bug on the navigation display. You can actually see it over there or over here. This is the heading bug. I'm going to move again the switch right here, and it just moves the bug, but the aircraft is not moving because, again, as I said before, the lateral navigation, the LNAV, is being controlled by the FMC. But this is the heading selector knob. Right here is a vertical speed window, and this is when you want to do a small altitude change, just like 1,000 feet or so. You can actually use the up or down window, and it gives you a certain feet per minute rate that you would actually choose for the aircraft to start climbing or descending. And finally, this is the altitude window. This is the selected altitude that you want the aircraft to go at. Again, we are flying at 34,000 feet, or flight level 340. And I'm going to actually move this right here. If we wanted the aircraft to go at 16,000 feet, you have to select 16,000 feet, and that enables the aircraft that when it's going down, it actually doesn't let the aircraft go lower than 16,000 feet, always if you're connected on at the autopilot. But again, right now it's being controlled by the FMC, so I moved to the knob, but nothing happened because it's being controlled by the FMC, as I said before. I'm just going to go ahead and put it back to 34,000 feet. And this again is another autopilot switch, as we talked about on the captain side. So that would basically cover the MCP, or the mode control panel.
AeroMexico 002, are you ready?
AeroMexico 002, ready to copy.
AeroMexico 002, clear direct Romeo Bravo Victor, J230 to join J75 Tango Alpha Yankee, rest of route unchanged.
AeroMexico 002, we understand. Flight direct Romeo Bravo Victor, then J230, J75 to Tango Alpha Yankee, then rest of route unchanged.
AeroMexico 002, that's correct.
Boston Speedbird 209 Heavy, flight level 380.
Speedbird 209,
Correcto.
clear direct MJ. November 513 Mike Alpha, Boston Center, roger. Climb and maintain, flight level 400. Confirm that's Flexjet 550. Flexjet 550, climb and maintain, flight level 300.
Sun Country 383, contact Fort Myers, approach 125.15.
4515, Sun Country 383, good day.
Southwest 134, contact Jacksonville Center 135.902. AeroMexico 437, contact Houston Center 135.77.
3577 with Houston, AeroMexico 437. Have a good one.
Okay, so now we are 11 hours into our flight, 11 hours since we took off from Madrid, and we're going to start our briefing for the descent and our landing into Mexico City. And this is where we check the NOTAMs, the weather, and the approach briefing for the approach that we're going to shoot. So, if we can start with our NORPs, please.
Okay, NOTAMs, there is no NOTAMs relevant. Approach, there's operations, he's going to call operations. Weather, we have with weather, is okay. Approach is already inserted. Box, it's going to be with 30.
Box, flaps 30.
Brakes.
Brakes 2.
Brakes 2. Box. And briefing.
Briefing, you have the airplane?
I have the airplane.
Okay, so we're going to be shooting the ILS ILS to runway 5 right into Mexico City. The approach plate is chart 11-1 from September 12, 2014. The frequency for the localizer is 109.1. The final approach course is 053. We have to check Plaza at 8,825 feet.
8,800.
Okay. The minimums are 7,600. They are set. And the airport elevation is 7,316. The missed approach, just in case we have to shoot it, is climb outbound on Mexico radial 053 to 9 DME. 90 ME. Then a left turn to intercept the Lucia VOR radio 140 to Lucia and join and holding in accordance with ATC instructions.
Okay, we have it.
Okay. We'll be landing at runway 5 right. We'll make a right turn once we are in the ground to leave the runway and taxi via Delta Echo Papa Hotel to our gate. The minimum required diversion fuel is, I think it's
8.9.
8.9. We'll be arriving at Mexico City with 13 tons, which is 3,131 minutes for holding.
Okay.
And guess that's about it for the approach briefing, the approach play briefing. I have the airplane.
No questions. You have the airplane.
Thank you, and descent checklist.
Okay, I want to make the recall. Checklist. Says recall, check.
Check.
Notes, no notes.
No notes.
Auto brake 2.
2.
Landing data, BREF.
BREF 30, 136. Minimums 7,600.
30, 136, 7,600. And approach briefing completed.
Completed.
Descent checklist complete.
Thank you.
Charter 783, initiations.
Inicial descenso, Boeing Charter 783.
Interior 2124, contacto Centro Monterrey 114, decimal 5, buen día.
114, decimal 5 con Centro Monterrey, Interior 2114, buen día.
AeroMexico 682. Charter 783, contacto de llegada 129, decimal 6, buen día.
22 Magni Charter 783, muy buen día.
AeroMexico 002, contacto de llegada 129, decimal 6, buen día.
29.6, gracias, buen día. AeroMexico 002.
Charter 775.
Hasta luego, Speedbird 243, maintain 250 knots.
Maintain 250 knots, with 243.
Mexico approach, good afternoon. Mexico 002 heavy, leaving 310 for 230.
AeroMexico 002, good afternoon, radar contact, flight direct to Mateo 6, descend to 13,000, 3021 altimeter setting.
Descend to 13,000, direct Mateo 3021, AeroMexico 002.
Llegada Meco, buen día, Interior 2115, abandona 31500 por 13000.
Interjet 2115, buenas tardes, contacto oral 250 indicados.
250 la velocidad de Interior 2115.
Hotel India Eco descienda 220.
220 te lo indico.
AeroMexico 002, 220 nuevos indicados.
220 on the speed, AeroMexico 002. Thank you.
Sorry, sir, still get confused.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, 220 on the speed.
220 on the speed.
Interjet 2115, 220 indicados.
220 indicados, Interior 2115.
Aeromar 561, directo luz. AeroMexico 002, contact frequency 121.2.
121.2, thank you, good night. Mexico approach, AeroMexico 002 heavy, leaving 17,000 for 13,000.
México 002 está en contacto radar, descienda unos 2000 pies. ¿Cuál es su velocidad indicada?
12,000, 220 on the speed, AeroMexico 002.
Sorry, México 002, that is correct. Radar contact, descend 12,000, keep 220 knots indicated.
220 knots indicated, thank you.
Sí.
Aproximación Meco, buen día, Interior 2115, abandona 18500 por 13200 indicados. Información alfa.
Interior 2115, buen día, está en contacto radar de Hacienda 12.
1-2000, Interior 2115.
México 002, reduzca a 200 nudos indicados y abandone Mateo en el rumbo 165, localizador de la 5 derecha.
Reducing 180 and leaving Mateo on 165, is correct?
That is correct, AeroMexico 002, speed 16, correction 207 as indicated, and depart Mateo heading 165 to intercept the localizer.
200 on the speed and 165 leaving Mateo, AeroMexico 002.
Roger, flaps 1. Set speed for flaps 1. 200 knots.
México 002, contacto aproximación final en 1975 y que tenga buen día.
1975, hasta luego. Mexico approach, good evening, AeroMexico 002 Heavy, 13000 for 12000.
Chate 787 por izquierda Plaza Torres 755.
Por izquierda Plaza de Torres 855, Boeing Charter 783, ¿dónde?
Adiós. AeroMexico 002, ready counter, descend to 10,200.
10,200, AeroMexico 002.
$10,200 cents. Flaps 5. Set speed for flaps 5.
Indeco siendo 8800.
8800, Indeco.
Hotel India Eco, Rescal mínimo 8800.
Not unavailable.
Siendo mínimo 8800, Indeco.
Mateo
Conecta por izquierda plaza, completa el C5H, cambia atrás 855, buen día.
Estamos que vamos con Torre, Indeco, buen día.
Armada 6561.
Muy buenas noches, Armar 561 2000.
Contacto haciendo 10200.
Contacto radar 10200, Armar 561.
Mexico 002, reduce speed 160.
160 on the speed, AeroMexico 002.
Aproximación final, buen día, Interior 2115, 115,000 por 1-2000 con 180 indicados.
Buen día, 2115, contacto después de Mateo, desciendo a 10200.
Posterior a Mateo 10200, Interior 2115.
Gear down. Flaps 20. Set speed.
Mexico 002, reduce minimum speed approach. Complete approach, fly direct class, receive terminated, contact 1855.
1855, reducing the speed, AeroMexico 02. Good day.
Fly direct class, is correct.
High altitude identified. Localizer and glide slope pointer shown. Approach armed.
Interior 304205 izquierda, viento 350 grados, 8 nudos autorizado para despegar. Dar contacto sería 120.5 a 0.
Interior 3042.
Capture. Flaps 30. Set speed. Set missed approach altitude.
Interior 255505 izquierda, posición y mantener.
Posición y mantener 5 izquierda, Interior 2555 horas.
Charter 783, solo que por la izquierda, tome Golf, mantenga antes de 05 izquierda.
Por la izquierda, Golf y mantenemos
Landing
antes 5
checklist
izquierda,
complete.
Charter 783.
Hotel India Eco 05 derecha, viento 350 grados, 10 nudos autorizado para aterrizar.
50 con 10, autorizado a aterrizar en 5 derecha, Indeco.
AeroMexico 00205 right, altimeter 30.23, continue approach.
Continue approach, AeroMexico 002.
Last altitude crossing 8600.
Charter 783, cruce 05 izquierda y contacto terrestre en 121.85. Hasta luego.
Autorizar el cruce de la 5 izquierda y 21.85 en Charter 783. Buenas noches.
Continue.
Interjet 255505 izquierda, viento 350 grados, 10 nudos, autorizado para despegar, en área contacto salida 120.5. Hasta luego.
Autorizados al despegue 25 en el área, Interjet 2555. Buenas noches.
Buenas noches. Hotel India, construye por la derecha en Eco, contacto terrestre en 121 o 0, tráfico final media milla. Hasta luego.
Eco 21-0. Buenas noches.
Interior 211805 izquierda, posición y mantener.
Posición 35 izquierda, Interjet 21-18.
Landing.
$100, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10. Wake up.
Interjet 1805 izquierda, viento 340 grados, 7 nudos, autorizado para despegar, área contacto salida en 120.5. Hasta luego.
Muchas gracias, autorizado al despegue 5 izquierda, 25 que tenga una excelente noche, Interjet 21-18. Hasta luego.
Buenas noches.
AeroMexico, muy buenas noches, Omar 561, pasamos plaza.
AeroMexico 002 right, turn and switch to ground 1.0, bye bye.
1 to 1.0, good ride, thank you.
You have the aircraft?
Aeromar 56105 derecha, altímetro 30.23, continúe aproximación.
3023, continuamos
Clear right.
aproximación, Omar 561.
Radio México, buenas noches, AeroMéxico 002.
002.
Correcto, 002 en tierra.
002, Capi, confirmada puerta 54. La banda de equipaje es la número 2. El equipo queda a la pernota.
54, banda 2, perdón.
Via Delta and short of Echo.
4 libre.
Gracias, ahí vamos.
Buenas tardes, prosiga.
Nos encontramos en punto Romeo 6 y vamos remolcados a plataforma oriente de Aeroméxico.
Costera 145, Alfa 4, rampa en 3462, buenas noches.
Buenas noches, 145, 3462.
Foxtrot Romeo Juliet, remolque por Bravo 3, Juliet, mantenga antes Alfa 4.
You're down. Left 20. $2,500. Check. Pilot, left 5, upper left, right, shoulder. Approach mark. Capture. Capture. That's 30. 30. Set speed. Approach altitude. And landing checklist. And right. Landing checklist complete. Confirm. Landing checklist complete.
1000.
Continue.
Five hundred.
103. Continue.
400. Approaching minimums. Minimums.
Landing.
200.
Horizon.
100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
Wake up. Where's normal? Knots. About a break. Not a break sound. 16.
Ground Control UPS 321, request pushback and start stand 42, information Alpha.
UPS 2321, switch frequency 2185.
Switch 2185, roger.
Welcome to Mexico City. We are arriving 15 minutes before schedule. We hope that you enjoy the flight, and please, I want to see you in another flight. Thank you very much.